I can't show you that. I can't show you the rough cut. This was an April Fool's joke, not for the audience, but mainly for the team making Nerdvana. I really wanted them to think that I had posted the unfinished version of the show. I hope it worked. Man, there's a lot of effort that went into this April Fool's joke, so... Just a little update, guys. Like, we're all really heavy into the development of this show. The editing is going well. Some of the special effects are looking awesome. We're still on track to show you guys, in August when it comes out. Cannot wait for you to see what we've built here. So, you'll just have to wait a little bit longer. But hey, we may get a trailer sooner than later. You never know. As well, keep an eye on our social media because we have another awesome contest coming up soon. So if you are watching closely to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you're going to be seeing some more information about that coming up soon. I wanted to launch the contest like today, but the fact that it's April Fool's Day, I didn't think that people would think that it was real. So I'm just going to wait just a little bit. Just a little bit to launch that contest. Yeah. So I've got to make this like over an hour-long video just so that when, the director or anyone from the team looks at it, it looks like it's the full feature-long video here on YouTube. What am I gonna fill that empty time with? I know. I'll just toss in a bonus time podcast we did on the show with Tito Gillen. How about that? Tito Gillen's our director, by the way, if you guys didn't already know. He's a visionary genius behind everything. So, he's also the one to blame, I guess. Anyways, everyone out there, I hope you have a happy Easter. And don't trust anyone on the internet tonight. Have yourself a good one. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Bonus Time. I'm your host, Matt, and it's been a while, guys. So sorry. I've just had so much going on right now. There's been some really big news happening in my life personally, and not just me. A bunch of my friends. If you've ever watched our show, Nerdvana the series has officially been funded, and to help explain what exactly that means. Is the director of the show, Tito Gillen.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for bringing me on your phone. It was a show for the first time.
Yeah, first time. You're becoming like the John Goodman of this show now, fucking showing up so much.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. We were just playing PUBG only moments ago.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
It's still life. I think the last time we spoke on the show, we were talking about, let's go play PUBG again.
Yeah.
It just means that I'm firing everyone, and I'm going to go with professional actors.
Yeah,
and
that's probably the
just
safest
move into
bet.
Los Angeles.
Yeah. That was actually a hypothetical question I was asking some of the people in the show. I was talking about, what if Tito decided to get professional actors, but for whatever reason he let us choose which actors got to play each other,
Cast each other.
Yeah,
we were actually having a conversation very similar to that too.
Yeah.
When we were shooting the 100K universe, because we said that.
That was the conversation I'm talking about. Yeah, because
Dave
it was all
Franco
of us.
would be Steve because he's got such a punchable face.
Yeah.
And
The whole punchable
Ash
face
would be
stuff.
Kimmy Schmidt.
Yep.
I didn't get who Mike would be. Who was going to be Mike?
I don't know, but I would say, what's the name of that guy who played George W. Bush in the movie W? And he's also
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
I feel that's like way too good of an actor.
Like, it's like overcasting.
Overcasting is
Yeah.
just. Well, but I mean,
But still,
I mean, Mike is pretty great.
He could pull off a Mike though. Like he would probably be one of those guys who's like a character.
He could pull off everyone.
He would like stay with Mike for a few weeks and like watch him in the store and like take down notes and stuff.
Couldn't figure out who Zachary would be or Zach, and couldn't figure out player one.
I couldn't imagine Zach. Oh no, we were saying Michael Cera for player one, weren't we?
Player one. Oh yeah, there was some. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was Michael Cera. It was like.
It was a Michael Cera
Justin
type.
Long.
Oh, Justin Long. Yeah. I mean, I can accept that. I can accept Justin Long.
Justin Long wouldn't be a bad
I don't
choice.
like his choice in mobile products. But still, I know he's an Apple guy.
Oh yeah, well at least he got paid to be. No, like I mean, it's interesting that you'd say that, Matt, because like that's obviously the first place you would go through. It's like, hey, you guys have $100,000 budget, like now you can get like good actors and all that sort of stuff. But like that may be true for other projects in regards to like maybe if it was something that wasn't you guys. Like so much of these characters are ingrained in the people that they're based on, right?
Totally.
Like I think we've talked about it before, where like every character in Nerdvana is just a cartoon exaggeration of the real person.
Oh, totally.
I mean, the irony being that I think yours is just kind of your hyperbole in regards to like because you talk all the time. So this character doesn't talk.
That is like,
and you're so unimportant, but this character is super important.
This fucking character is. I mean, we don't want to spoil like anything coming up, but I mean, we do have the entire series written. Now. The entire season is already written up.
Yeah, and I'm actually
scripts.
glad I can share something today, which I thought was hilarious. So just like every other Story Hive, I take a lot of pride in meticulous planning, right? And in every other Story Hive, we've always very much been ahead of the curve on stuff. Like whenever something's due, we're ahead of it, or we've been able to mitigate it, or whatever. And we were talking with Story Hive today, myself and Ash, one of the producers, and they were asking where we're at, and I said, well, the scripts are ready, everything's like, we just need you guys to give us like a once over just for a sanity check to say, hey, you guys aren't just up your own asses. But aside from that, we are raring to go. And I said the only thing really stopping us from shooting right away is actually scheduling. Like that's our biggest challenge right now, is the fact that we need to schedule like our cast and crew appropriately, right? So honestly, I think that's our biggest hurdle. But
totally,
but
especially because
else,
we all have our own jobs as well as this. Like this is not, we're not like quitting our jobs to film Nerdvana,
I mean,
right?
It's $100,000, not $100 million.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like if it was $100 million,
I would go in and take a dump on my boss's desk tomorrow.
Yeah,
like.
Everyone quit your job now. You each get like I would give each of you guys probably $5 million. So that'd be a quarter of the budget right there. But it would be worth it. I
could almost buy a house in Fort McMurray.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'd quit your jobs. Nerdvana, the store, would be paid for, so Mike would be laughing.
Yeah.
And then we just go on. But like that being said, like here's the thing: like all of our other stuff for Story Hive, we've made look like more than what the budget is. So for example, $10,000 goes by really quickly if you're like, depending on what you're doing with it. But we were able to like make it look like, for example, like Nerdvana has a really sweet opening and all that sort of stuff that really makes it look like it's more than $10,000.
Yeah.
So the goal
really cool special effects.
Yeah. So the goal right now with $100,000 is let's make this look like $1 million.
Totally.
Like, I
agree.
Like the script, if anyone's been following our social media, like the script is ambitious, and so is the visual effects that are planned for it.
For sure. Like there's some parts where I'm reading it and I'm like, how the hell are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
Like
we're gonna do it like the old masters. Honestly, like I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, you know what? This is gonna be a blend of CGI and miniatures, and we're gonna do it this way.
Well, that's why you're the director, because like when I look at some of this stuff, I'm like, I can't even imagine how this would be done. So I hope someone else knows this information, because I do not.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because that actually is a really good transition. So originally we had our original visual effects artist slated. His name was David Hyatt. He worked on Cyborgs.
Yep.
But wouldn't you know it, he also got $100,000, which is great because now we're going to see Cyborgs the series as well as Nerdvana the series. Season 1, but what I'm gonna get to do is actually the reason I even teamed up with David Hyde was because when we started Story Hive, the original visual effects artist that I was teamed up with wasn't available, and that was Robert Reindow, who did the CGI for World's Finest. So
Nice.
he's actually coming back.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
And he's like, I mean,
is this the first official announcement of who
yeah,
are
the exclusive. You can put that on comingsoon.net.
Oh, man, I'm gonna be putting that.
Yeah, and but yeah, he's coming back, and like, I mean, if people recall, like, he created a CGI rooftop as well as the Batcave for World's Finest, right?
Oh yeah,
and that
it was awesome.
and that was him on a crunch.
Really?
Like, this is going to be him with months of planning. That's actually part of the reason why everyone's seeing concept art right now, because he said the more key art we have ahead of time, the more he can start formulating
so
these
who's
worlds.
doing that art? Is that you or is that him?
It's me.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. It's
Oh my god,
really good.
I honestly think it's shit. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, Tito, look at all these scribbles.
Well, I was looking at one of the ones that you posted on Instagram, and I was like, oh wow, Tito hired someone to do some of these pictures. I was like, these look really legit, and I was like, and then I had no idea that it was actually you doing it.
I will say this though, if you want, like, it's so funny. I'm gonna get crucified for this, but like, I think I quickly found out that like digital artists, like, their job is so fucking easy. Because I have a Surface, right?
Yeah.
I have a Surface tablet.
Oh, and that's what you were drawing it on.
and
That
like,
makes sense.
it is hard to be bad at drawing with that thing. Because really what it is like, and it's so obvious when I look at it. It's just advanced tracing, because what you do is you get like, I like this from this and this like this,
Yeah.
and you composite your picture,
Oh,
and you get
I
it like
see.
like, for example, like, oh, this is what a building looks like. So
Yeah,
I will
trace
take
that,
these
but-
three
yeah.
buildings and then composite them in an image. And I think that's what art really is, just copying other people.
Yeah, just copying it with a little flavor of your own on top of it.
Well, yeah,
basically,
exactly.
Right?
No, but like that's what it comes to. Like, I'm like, oh, there's this shot that I like from the movie, so I'll start with the shot that I like from the movie,
Yeah.
and then I'll start compositing stuff that I
makes
like.
so much
but you
sense
can't
now.
do that on paper.
Yeah.
But you can totally do that digitally, like
Yeah.
and it's cool because like if you're doing it through Photoshop and through like a Surface or whatever,
Yeah.
you can totally like, oh well, I don't like the way this looks, so I will change it to be more unique to what I want it to be.
Exactly.
And like then I'll boom, and like I was actually surprised with the results. And I mean, like, again, you know, I'm just talking out of my ass here. Like, the truth is, like, to be a digital artist, it's actually quite difficult, because if you look at the stuff I've been posting, it's really rough around the edges, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
Like, if you see some of the stuff online, like,
Oh, yeah.
like the people that
I
know
mean,
what they're doing, holy
Really,
fuck.
it is like, you know, in a way, it is easy to be a digital artist, but it's hard to be a really good digital artist, because there's a difference between, you know, watching like some animated movie out of whatever studio and then going and watching like a Pixar. You know, there's a very big difference between those two. But yeah, no, totally,
For sure.
I totally agree.
So I mean, like they're enough to get the point across from my side, but like that's not to say that we won't be bringing in, like, I mean, Robert is an artist in his own right, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table. He's an instructor at the Vancouver Film School, so
Oh, wow,
like he's got a pretty strong
He's
pedigree.
got some laurels there then.
Yeah.
Man.
So like, and you know, so I'm pretty excited to get him going on what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is going to be ambitious, because, you know, one of the big sells that I feel makes season 1 unique is that we've seen, even through our one shots, because it's so cheap to do it, to like a lot of stuff in the store. We do a lot because the store is great and we can shoot in the store. But now, like, we're going to show you what the MacGuffin box it really is, and where it's going to take us. Both like
we can't discuss what's inside the MacGuffin box yet, can we?
We know we saw it on the pilot. It's the gem, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I just didn't know if we were like
But-
disclosing what that does or.
But
that kind
we're
of thing.
really excited. I'm really excited about where the season's going to go, because there's like, it's going to be a real proving ground for us. Because like, I always like to look at things as an opportunity to take a step forward.
Oh, totally.
It's really interesting though, because like when the announcement became official, it's kind of like that sinking feeling of like, oh shit, now we have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
So and you know, it's funny because there's a real sense of validation that comes with it too. Like, I know that we have our fans that have supported us and everything, and that's amazing, and we're super thankful, because without them we wouldn't have gotten the funding, in the sense that like Story Hive wouldn't have seen that we've built that community,
and we wouldn't have gotten the pilot. To begin
exactly.
with either. So that was a whole different thing, because this is not the first time that Nerdvana has gone to Story Hive. I know we kind of touched on it, but the pilot was a totally different campaign from what we're doing. But
yeah, it's interesting. So the way it works is it's thanks for bringing that up, actually. So there was the 2016 web series pilot edition, and we made a pilot there, and it's quite interesting because we had always planned like a condensed season, like maybe 5 or 6 episodes based on us winning the pilot edition. So we won the budget to make the pilot, which already makes us a winner in Story Hive. We got $10,000, but the winner of the pilot edition, like the best of the pilots, got an additional $50,000 in funding, right? To do whatever. And I believe in our side of the province, it was How to Learn Anything, which just recently premiered, right?
Yeah.
So, but then it was interesting because like it's cool. It almost seems serendipitous because we're like, oh, well, that sucks about that we wouldn't get the season 1 funding for the 50,000. And then we kind of got into the conversation about doing the one shots because that's who we are as a group. Is no matter how the deck is shuffled, there's always the feeling of like, okay, well, we really want to do this and we're gonna make it happen, right? So we started planning the one shots. We shot the one shots, and we were already planning the Indiegogo season 1, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we were gonna shoot for the moon and see what we got out of the Indiegogo, and then they announced Story Hive 100K, and it was like $100,000 to make anything you want, and it was like holy,
yeah,
like, it was like like that will get us season 1, right?
Yeah, and I mean there was a lot more steps before we had to even get that, right? Like we had to, you and Steve and Ashley had to do quite a few different things before this even happened, right?
First of all, there was the first requirement that was you needed to either already be an established filmmaker or be Story Hive alumni. We were both.
Yeah, we
had
both.
stuff on IMDb, and we also had 2 Story Hive editions under our belts.
Yeah.
The second one, we needed to be an incorporated company, which we had to do. And we had our meeting about, I remember it was at Wood Buffalo Brewhouse.
Yeah.
Was like, this is going to be what we're going to do. And then we had to kind of put together like this comprehensive pitch document in regards to like, what is our plan? Like, what is the story you're trying to tell? How are you going to tell it? What are the resources? How are you going to use the resources? How are you going to manage your social media? How is this going to benefit your community and all that sort of stuff, right? So it was really important to us that like, and that's why like it's interesting you mentioned like, oh, is Tito going to get professional actors now? It's like, no, I always planned, like the document and everything was always planned with like Ash, Steve, Mike, Matt, and Zach in it, right?
Yeah.
So it is very much with the intention that we would do it. And that's the interesting thing because like the moment that it got announced, like everyone was my best friend. So I got a bunch of messages about like, hey, if you're looking for actors or if you're looking for producers and like give me money.
Whatever money, just toss it this way.
And like what I keep focusing on is like, no, let's Story Hive chose us because on the strength of what we pitched them. Let's do what we pitched them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, everyone wants to be your friend once they know that you're making it big like this. But I want to ask, like, for the people who don't know out there, I might be putting you on the spot here.
Hey, go ahead.
But if you could give us, like, for people who've never watched the show, can you kind of explain what Nerdvana, the series, is?
Oh, you know what's hilarious is we were actually because we were having the meeting with Story Hive this morning, and there was a new person that got brought into the call, and they actually wanted to know. It's like, if you could pitch Nerdvana, how would you pitch it, right? And I said, well, our log line kind of says it all. Is like, the fate of the universe in the hands of those least in touch with it. So the fate of the So
totally.
So that's the log line. But really, Nerdvana is very much very much equal parts Rick and Morty as it is Dan Harmon's Community.
Yeah,
like it is Community in the sense that there is this group of tight friends.
Yeah,
it is Rick and Morty in the sense that it goes balls out crazy in regards to where it takes us in regards to the concepts, right? Like,
it takes us further than you might expect.
Yeah, and there's a real, like, the underlying theme that it also exists in Rick and Morty. It exists in Nerdvana in the sense that, like, nature versus nurture and and infinite universes. So the idea is that if there are infinite versions of us, does it really matter what we do, whether that be good or bad?
Exactly.
Right? Like, why be good if there's always going to be several thousand versions of you that are going to be evil anyway?
Infinite versions of you that could be bad, good, or totally Neutronian.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
I have no feelings for this either way.
yeah. So the idea is that, the theme of the show is that there's that whole nature versus nurture aspect of, like, what is the nature of your morality based on that, and then there's the other theme in regards to, like, we are unique by embracing embracing the parts of us that everyone else finds odd, right?
Mhm.
And that's
Oh,
like everybody's a
totally.
nerd about something.
That is
right?
definitely a very big theme in that we touch on in quite a few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So to answer your question, if you're a fan of Community and you're a fan of Rick and Morty and wish there was some sort of like hybrid of the two,
Yeah.
Nerdvana is actually really right
Yeah.
up that alley.
Even if you've never watched those shows, but you're a big nerd and
Yeah.
you like comic books, you like video games, and you like that kind of stuff, I think this is also for you because it really tickles every nerdy funny bone that you can really get to.
Yeah,
we do. I mean, I don't want to get too into it. But we do some spoofing of some of our favorite franchises and stuff
sure,
like that.
yeah.
So. I mean, we're just big nerds ourselves, and this is the kind of stuff that we wanted to see, so we ended up making it.
Yeah, and I'll say that and because it's important for me to make this distinction because I really do not like this other show, but The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, don't put us in that fucking bin.
Well,
with
no,
that
here
show.
and I'll say the difference. So the Big Bang Theory gets its laughs by name dropping
Yeah,
nerd culture.
yeah,
Like our show actually pays homage physically to those cultures. So
Yeah.
if someone were to say in the Big Bang Theory, "Oh, you're gonna come at me like the Terminator or whatever," which is a reference to James Cameron's Terminator.
Yeah, that would be where the laugh track comes in.
Yeah, exactly, because you're supposed to laugh because it's a reference to
Yeah.
a Terminator
Oh,
movie.
I know that show. I know that movie. I watched it before.
Like ours is literally like our opening shot is someone comes into the universe in a very Terminator like fashion.
Yeah.
and then he comments offhandedly, "Oh, I'm not naked." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's very like it is expected that you know what the Terminator is
Yeah.
to get that joke.
We don't have to like tell you what it is for you to know what it is. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and I mean, I think if you're that type of person in regards to you don't want to get hit over the head with a reference, but you like those type of references, this is
Totally.
definitely a show. And
Yeah.
really, like, it's so funny because it goes back to the concept art. If you like the idea of taking these cool ideas from other franchises and other things and then like mashing them together to make something, like Nerdvana is all about that, right? And in fact, like, I don't want to give it away, but it becomes the crux of the season 1 arc in
Yeah.
regards to this huge. There's a turn and a realization that, oh hey, us being nerds actually helps us in this situation. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you mentioned that there's we touch on a lot of interdimensional, pan-dimensional kind of stuff that goes on in the show, and that also kind of reflects on the stuff that we post on social media as well.
sure,
right?
yeah.
Like right now, I believe the comic book contest is still going on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. For another month or so, we're doing homages to famous comic covers.
Yeah, and if you guess which comic cover it is, you can win.
You can be entered to win entered to be in a draw to win $20 of loot from Nerdvana, and you don't
Yeah.
have to be from Fort McMurray to enter
No,
either.
no, you
so
can
like
do
if
wherever.
if you comment with the answer and you share it, yeah. So and it's our way like both to give back to our fans, but also to promote the series for someone who might not be familiar with it. right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of that stuff coming up in the future as well. Now, the are we allowed to say how many episodes we have planned for the season?
Yeah, I think that's fair. So
Yeah.
the total season is 9 episodes, which means that including the pilot, there are 8 more coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's cool because every single episode is a reflection of the person who wrote that episode as well.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So what we did this go around was like it just can't be Tito distilling everyone's ideas.
Yeah.
And what we did was like I took the role as showrunner, but I gave everyone assigned episodes to write.
Yeah.
So I believe for this season I wrote 3, but then everyone else wrote 1 each.
Yeah.
So every like and you'll see in the credits written by or whatever, and it's really cool because like I said, just like the Rick and Morty elements, like we take weird turns, and a lot of it is a reflection of the personality of the writer, right?
Yeah.
So like you yourself have written an episode, and it's
Yeah.
actually quite hilarious. So
Yeah, and see, like that's the thing is you might, if you know us personally and you like the show, you'll probably be able to tell who wrote each one just because of the kind of like the flavor it comes along with. It'll leave that delicious taste of your mouth of each person. And there's probably a better way to say this actually.
the Persian food,
Yeah, that Persian
food taste.
So the episode 2 though,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that'll be the first episode that we
Yep.
work on, I assume. When does that take place in relation to
It takes place immediately after the pilot.
Yeah.
Like if for those of you that saw the pilot, it ends on a to be continued, and literally episode 2 takes place right after the pilot, bringing us up to speed as to who this mysterious figure is.
Yeah.
And really starting to move the chess pieces into play in regards to stuff that was actually introduced throughout the first episode, playing out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but there's a few challenges that go along with filming an episode that comes after an episode that was filmed like a year ago.
Yeah,
like a year. Yeah, because it was right after the fire that we finished recording it. Right, so one of them being that we're going to be filming in the winter rather than the summer. So that's going to be one thing. But the other thing is, and Tito's brought up a few times, is I really didn't like the way that I looked in that first episode. I literally looked like a homeless guy in like they just like found player 1 in a dumpster and they're like come in for shelter. And so since then I've like lost like at least 30 pounds.
Yeah. And because I don't have Matt on retainer, it's not like I can tell him stay this weight for the role.
Yeah, exactly. And so on top of that, like yesterday I won a gym membership.
Jesus Christ, Matt.
To like a CrossFit gym. So I mean that's gonna be like a whole nother thing now, I guess. I've never done that before in my life. This is gonna be something totally new, but like it's gonna be a totally different looking player
because
1.
we're gonna be shooting in so we got to write somewhere around there. I don't know how, but like you're gonna look a lot different by the time we go into principal. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
So and I've taken
it's hard to get any more handsome than this.
I just wish you wouldn't shut up about it. I just wish you would shut up about it. So I've taken it as a personal affront, and the fact that like I have to hear about keto on the daily from you.
Keto is the future, by the way, guys.
I'm going to prove that keto is not the future by just eating healthy going forward, and we're going to see who's in better shape.
Yeah, I guess
by
we
the
will.
time we go hit principal photography.
I mean, it's a lot of meat and cheese for me between those 2 times. So
Have
we'll
fun.
see how those go. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. My poops regular basis now, solid.
So
really
that's
good,
a sneak preview is
Yeah.
that player 1 is going to be super buff by the time we get to episode 2.
Yeah, who knows? And I mean, like I said, I have a
Maybe
certain
we'll make
look.
you wear a padded shirt thing
and
underneath your shirt.
not only that, but I also wore glasses before.
You son of a bitch.
And like I got laser eye surgery.
So
since then.
out of all the group, Matt went Hollywood before any of us. He has a personal trainer, got his eyes fixed.
Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
all of these things. But I mean, I will still be wearing the signature, glasses.
It'd just be super big on you because you
super
will
big.
look totally different.
Yeah, totally. So
You fuck.
it's gonna be a really great time. But yeah, there's a lot.
So
of
hopefully
stuff,
the fans won't it will release the episodes and it'll be like hashtag keep player 1 fat. Fat shaming player
he
1.
He was funny before.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be less funny now that you're
It's like Will. What was it? Will Sasso from Mad TV. Yeah.
Oh man. I forgot about that. And like, it suffice to say the pilot was a year ago. So
yeah.
I mean, I did not expect everything to stay the same, but I was hoping that some things would remain the same. So it's going to be particularly
most
challenging.
things have stayed the same. The only real hurdle we're gonna have, I think, is the fact that we're gonna be filming in the winter. Whereas like some of the episodes
that is the status quo for whenever we do stuff now. We always have to have like some sort of shit weather apparently.
Yeah.
Like we got to finally film in the summer for Nerdvana.
Yeah.
And then it was like it's on fire. The entire city is on fire.
Well,
you
even remember our skit that we did for with the Bop It actually right beside you, and it was like the hottest days ever until the day we had to film, and it was like 1 degree or something.
And it's so funny because while we were writing it, we were like, how are we going to make it look like an ice age? Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah. And then we already had planned like Todd and Ash to be wearing barely anything because they were a
so
cave
Todd
man
did it
and
anyway.
woman.
So it was like, oh man, it was so cold too. It's brutal. And that is one of the multiverse Matt's and Zach's.
And Zach's.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can't remember what else I was gonna ask.
Well, I
about
mean,
this thing now.
I think the big thing for your listeners that I want them to be aware of is the fact that like we were able to do this because we came together, we came up with a great idea, and we executed on it. And I really don't worry about doing something the best way you can do it, but worry about doing it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like
that is really it, right?
You can only get better at something if you do it, right? And so here's the thing.
And it did not happen overnight.
Oh, for sure, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's interesting because we're having this conversation just at a different plateau in regards to, oh man, how are we going to pull off season 1? It's so ambitious.
It is.
The only way we're going to do it is by doing it.
Totally.
Right? And the thing is like like I said, it's like, oh, you're going to need better actors. Well, no, we wrote these characters to be these people.
Yeah.
Like Mike is based on Mike, Ash is based on Ash. Like the full intent is to have them as those characters, right? So, I mean, I guess I think if fans are concerned as to, oh, well, will the show have an overhaul based on that? I don't think so. I think it'll be very familiar, but you're going to see $100,000 of production value on that screen.
Yeah.
The same way you saw $10,000 of production value when we did the pilot, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, we were able to show like a multiverse. We were able to show crazy.
There was some really good special effects with the planets. You know, when Ash touches the box and stuff like that. If you guys go back and watch it, you'll see
sound design,
great.
music, all of it.
The sound design, I think, too, really gave us that extra edge over a lot of the other teams. I feel like I mean, I might just be jerking us off again, but I honestly think that we have the best sound design in any of the shows that I watched.
Well, part of the challenge, and this is something for people that are aspiring filmmakers to keep in mind, is everybody forgets about sound.
Oh, totally.
Even I do, and it's super important. In fact, it was funny. We kind of had an epiphany, I think, during our production. I think it was during The Good Survivor, where it was like, man, sound's gonna cost this much. And then I kind of looked at Steve. I'm like, don't you work in radio? Isn't sound your thing? And he's like, yeah, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
And so oh, cool. Then Steve, this is now you. You're gonna be our sound editor, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think he did a really good job. And coupled with Matt Chung, who was our composer, he's coming back too.
Yeah.
Of composing, I can't wait for him to come up with music for the other universes.
Oh,
and
totally.
Stuff.
He made some pretty cool video game style music.
Yeah,
too,
and
that
the
was
Nerdvana theme song itself.
Exactly.
I can't picture Nerdvana without that theme now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's become
episode.
the theme. Yeah.
Even the shorts. Every short has that beginning.
And it's interesting because if you think about it, you can even see a marked difference between the shorts that we did before the pilot and after. There was the season 0 shorts.
Yeah.
Which you look at them now, you're like, oh, they were finding their footing.
Yeah.
There was some stuff here that was a little bit ambitious, but they didn't quite know what the idea was. And then we had the pilot, and then the one shots. Again, they're their own thing too, but you can tell there's the multiverse shot. There's a lot of stuff from the pilot that we learned in the pilot that we applied to the one shot.
Yeah.
So the big thing is okay, so now we got Story Hive 100K edition. We're gonna do season 1.
Yeah.
There's gonna be all this stuff that we learn with it that's going to help us because we've just so everyone knows, season 1 does have a definitive end. You will get closure on the plot, but there is definitely some threads that have been pulled in regards to a season 2, right?
Oh,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
Now there's one other person I don't think we've mentioned yet, and I guess there's some people that are wondering is Rhett coming back as well to help us?
That
with
is
the
the plan. Yeah, that is the plan. Now, it's interesting. Interestingly enough, that is our biggest challenge with the scheduling. Is Rhett is an established videographer.
Yeah,
he's a really good. I grew up with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I'm down. I want to do it. And he's like, these are the dates I'm available. And I was like, okay, well, these are the dates. So the idea is let's line up everyone's schedule and let's make it happen. Because honestly, I would think it would be a big mistake for us to rent or buy a camera just because we have the money to do it.
Exactly.
Where that money could go into making better visuals and better better set pieces.
And we're already filming it in basically 4K almost, right? So, yeah. Who else needs better than that, right? So I mean,
until 8K comes out.
Yeah, I guess until 8K comes out, then we're all behind the times and all that. I guess we're not doing it in 3D. I guess. So,
Well, interestingly enough, there was that Ampia workshop over a weekend that happened. VR is the next big step, right?
Really? Eh?
Yeah, and I mean,
so that'd be a cool a VR version of the Nerdvana store.
Well, what would be amazing is if there was a and I said it at the workshop, and I'll say it again. If someone has the bandwidth and the talent to pull it off, go ahead and steal this idea. All I want is a thank you in your credits, because I just do not have the time or bandwidth to do it. Everyone keeps talking about they haven't cracked VR yet. VR is cool, but it's nothing more than a novelty for now.
Yeah,
for film. And so my thought is, I believe that the way to crack VR is to make a 5-minute long film that has a feature length amount of content in it. So the idea is like a murder mystery might be the most obvious, where like it's a short film, takes place in 5 minutes, and someone dies in it. And you as the viewer need to figure out who did it, blah, blah, blah. And technically all the elements of the plot that you need are in that virtual reality film. You just need to find them and interact with those, like almost like a video game.
Yeah,
It would
totally.
It would literally be like a video game with a timer where you only have X amount of time to figure it out. And every time you save, you have these elements that you've acquired that in the next go around, you're like, okay, because I know this, I can go this way and I can interact with that until I can,
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really good idea. Almost like oh man, what was that PlayStation 3 game? It sounds like Heavy Rain almost, but but a virtual reality version of that.
I think a lot of people,
not nearly as long.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of people are missing like it was like, oh, virtual reality movies, like what is that going to be like? And I think like a lot of people might be approaching it wrong. Where in regards to it's virtual reality movies are just video games. You just have to approach it that way. You just have to get the performance.
See, I think
right.
I think virtual reality in movies too brings something that movies as they are now cannot bring, and that is rewatch value. Because I mean, if you have stuff happening literally in a 360 area around you, you're not going to be able to literally experience everything that happens the first time you watch it.
Without a doubt.
So it automatically will bring people back to to watch it again because they want to see, okay, now I'm going to watch what this character was doing because they were doing something totally different. You look at
movies with big twists, and I think that's why people enjoy those movies like The Sixth Sense, where like you rewatch it because you want to catch those nuances about how it's like, oh, if you rewatch it, you realize that no one talked to Bruce Willis the whole time.
Yeah.
So imagine that in VR, where there was this corner of the room that you missed the whole time where the killer was watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that will, you know what I mean? Like if you don't realize it until the end and like Five Nights at Freddy's is the I think if they were ever to make the perfect VR movie, it would be Five Nights at Freddy's.
That would be a terrifying one. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I think that's the genre that needs to embrace it in regards to like horror or mystery in order to make it. And then you get into like the ideas of like maybe you make a drama. Where like and all that sort of stuff. So interestingly enough,
Game of Thrones season 8.
Yeah.
Right?
So like, I mean, I would venture to say that like even after we finish season 1, because I know there's a real starvation to create this sort of content. Maybe that's what the next Nerdvana thing will be.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully by then, VR is a little bit more accessible for people.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a little bit cheaper to have in the home because right now it's still pretty outrageous to have. I mean, I have the PlayStation one currently. But I think I'm going to wait on the PC ones until I can get one that doesn't have cords. I really want to get a wireless one. I feel like the cords really kind of take you out of the moment a lot of the time when I'm playing games.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, you can say the same thing about like wireless controllers. Like it used to be like, well, the only way we're going to get good gaming is through wires, and then someone cracked it. I think it was Xbox that cracked it first.
Oh yeah,
where it's like here's an actual working wireless controller.
Yeah, it was Nintendo with the Wavebird. Remember those Wavebird gray ones?
Yeah.
And they had like the little dial. You had to set it to the right one on the dial on the thing. Still one of the best wireless controllers I ever used. But
I mean, suffice to say that there is a lot that we are planning for season 1.
Oh, yeah.
And like to execute it properly, you guys are gonna start seeing a lot of stuff from us. Like myself, Steve, and Ash, our goal right now is to start production vlogs. So the three of us will actually be providing a 1 weekly video. Each, which will be 3 videos a week, where you guys can follow it. And if you're interested, like how did they do it?
Yeah.
And if you're like kind of thinking like, well, these guys aren't that talented, I can do it better. Well, like honestly,
now you'll have a tutorial. Basically,
now you have a tutorial about how we did it wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, no, I mean, like I think I'm lucky enough in the sense that, and I'm not just saying it to say it. Like, I mean, every cast member for Nerdvana brings something unique to the storytelling. And something unique to their character, and I think it shows on the screen because like we're all from very different disciplines.
Yep.
And it really shows, and it really like shines, right?
Yeah, and because this is like, such a big production, Storyhive has even provided us with some mentors to go along with this.
Yeah,
too,
well,
right?
they always provide mentors, but like I can't say yet. I'll say it at the end of the month when it's official. But we are stepping into the world of like Canadian celebrity.
Oh yeah, totally.
Celebridom, as it were.
Yeah.
In regards to like we are doing a production that has warranted the attention of this tier of producer and such.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great because we're learning from the masters as to like what
people who were literally in our spot not too long ago, right?
Exactly, right? So I mean, if you guys can decide, you guys should comment on this video and see, or this,
and see if you can guess who we're talking about.
Yeah. But it's some Canadian celebrities are going to be helping, not just us, all the Storyhive teams, but like it is going to be really valuable, and it's going to take us to the next step because really, like, I mean, us making the most of this opportunity gets us to the next opportunity, right? So, and I mean, you say it all the time, but like, we wouldn't be here without our fans, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, without a doubt. Like, and so just so you guys know, we as a group have had literal fights about
how to treat you guys.
Yeah. If we did this, what impact would it have on our fans? So you guys better fucking appreciate how much.
Literally only moments before this podcast was being recorded.
And it really is. It's kind of like, and we like, it's not as if we're doing something and being like, well, the fans will like it like it regardless. It's kind of like, if we do this, well, and so like before you hate on us, like really consider that we're really fucking trying.
Yeah, we
right?
are really trying to please you guys. So like, and that's
giving hand jobs left and right.
Yeah, like just nonstop.
That's how we got 100K.
So,
I went to Vancouver and I just blew Storyhive's dick for half an hour.
Just like he just came in. He's just like he's
just
still wiping it
off my lips.
So okay, we got 8 episodes. They all gotta have special effects. They all gotta have everything written. All edited, all produced. Are we allowed to say when we're supposed to have this done by?
Oh yeah, every episode needs to be in Storyhive's hands by May the 31st of 2018, which means you guys should be seeing a premiere around August of that same year. So we are a year away from the premiere of Nerdvana Season 1, which is both exciting and terrifying.
Yeah, so it's like, you just said that, I'm like, oh my God, anxiety level rising.
Yeah, well, it's funny because in our login for Storyhive, there's a literal timer of how many days we have left.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be our doomsday clock. Every so often I'll be like, guys, this is like what is that movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, where it's like we live and die by that clock.
Totally. So yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything that we can about this show. I mean, we don't want to give away too much because there's a lot of surprises, a lot of things that we're really excited to show you guys once it's ready to go.
And don't worry, just because the show's a year away doesn't mean that we won't have content between now and then.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of stuff that we're planning.
And honestly,
and
if you guys have ideas for content, please. We actually, interestingly enough, had a fan give us a spec script for a one-shot recently.
Yeah. It's really good. I actually really enjoy it. So
whether or not we film it within the year, we don't know.
Yeah.
But like, it's awesome. Like, if you guys have ideas on how to make Nerdvana better, that's how we get better. Like, give us, like, if you loved us, you love what we did and you want more of it, let us know. If you think we're dog shit, like, let us know too. We'll just be like, okay,
what can we do? Yeah. What can we do to please you? Please.
After crying,
please help.
After crying, for a bit. But no, I mean, I think it's a very humbling experience in regards to you always plan for the worst. Like, that's what we do as people, like our group especially. We're like, well, if this doesn't happen, we're gonna do this and all that sort of stuff, so that when something goes right, we're just kind of like, oh my god, oh my god, we gotta do this now.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And you know what, I'm gonna throw out another question to the audience out there. Would you guys, fans of the show, enjoy seeing some sort of swag from us? And if so, what would you like to see? Like clothes, would you like pens or friggin', I don't know, like keychains with our faces on it?
Blowjobs.
Yeah, like Tito's really good at that. I mean, that's how we got it. So
100K blowjobs.
100K blowjobs. But
seriously, don't solicit me for blowjobs, please.
Let us know. What you'd like to see, what you'd like to wear, or show off. Yeah. Like posters, even if you'd like something like that. Let us know.
We got this far because of our fan support. So
exactly.
Any like like don't feel like you're harassing us.
No.
Like, but just understand that we're not obliged to do it either.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like that's the thing. Yeah, you might submit something and like it might not get done, but like don't let that stop you because you don't know.
Don't think that we didn't record it somewhere and it's in the notes, because we do that with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that we even Matt's dumb ideas.
Yeah.
We're like put it in the Matt pile.
Yeah, well, like I mean, we might not even use like if you write something for us, we might not use the whole thing, but you might have that one really like key moment in there where like, oh, I bet we could put this moment in the
and don't worry, we'll credit you for it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
right?
we'll put a thank you.
Yeah, we're not gonna be jerks about it. We'll let you know if we're gonna use your shit. Right?
Yeah. Watch, we end up with a lawsuit a year from now.
Yeah, exactly. But it's time for a segment of the show that I have not done in a while. I would say a while. But we're
talk about keto.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about keto for
keto
next
fights.
2 hours, just nothing but keto. Then we're gonna talk about CrossFit right after that. No, we are gonna play a game of Super Fight.
Oh snap!
And it has been a time since I've played this. So, I mean, man, even the last few episodes I've done, I haven't actually played the game in it. So I'm going to try to remember how to do everything while also explaining to you guys how this game works. So what's going to happen here is we're both going to be getting 6 cards. 3 cards are going to have characters on them, and 3 cards are going to have characteristics on them. And it is up to us to come up with the best character and characteristic for this super fight and justify why we think our character would win in this super fight. So there's going to be a few other, twists and turns that I toss in there afterwards, but I guess let's just take a look at what we got here for cards.
Okay.
Oh man, this is a pretty good one.
Oh really? How many actions do we get?
You get 2. You can use 2. Okay. Oh my god.
I need a
a black or a white card?
A white.
A white card? There you go.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't see what it was. Sorry.
Oh, sweet. That actually worked out great for me.
I have a pretty good one, and like it actually has like almost like a storyline that goes.
Right?
Yeah, 1 character, 2 characteristics.
Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be pretty great.
But you only use 1 at the beginning. Only use 1 of the, and then we turn it afterwards. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go first. I mean, usually you get guests to go first, but you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
So I got Pikachu.
Okay.
And Pikachu, while it might look like a Pikachu, is actually a Ditto because it can take the form of anything they touch.
Okay.
So Pikachu can take the form of anything they touch.
I think I might have overkilled you here.
Oh, jeez.
My character is Darth Vader.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's pretty intense. But he's armed with unlimited bow, or with a bow and an unlimited arrows. So he doesn't have to even get close. You can turn into an arrow if you want.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. Or I can just turn into Darth Vader as well.
I guess, but would you have a lightsaber?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's really up to the physics of this universe. Yeah. But yeah, so it's not actually Pikachu. It's actually a Ditto because I mean that's really what Ditto does,
fair
right?
Enough.
But we'll throw in our second characteristic here, and I actually only had shitty ones in comparison to what the rest of it. So mine can only move when opponent moves.
Oh, that sucks.
So yeah, that's not a great one.
So mine.
But the other one was worse. Just know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So mine was riding a dragon.
What?
Breaker of chains. Darth Vader, breaker of chains.
Father of dragons.
Father of dragons. Yeah,
father of dragons. That's okay. I mean, he can be more than one person's father, right?
I guess. Yeah. Grab one more.
So no, these are just ones. So now what we'll do is since we've kind of established what our characters are and what they're doing, there's a card that adds a location, and there's a card that kind of just throws in a random rule or another character perhaps.
Right.
So now we are. on an infinite water slide. So,
Oh, shit.
So that really helps me since you're going to
really
constantly
does.
be moving.
Yeah.
So that's our location is an infinite water slide.
Okay.
So, man, that's good for me because that just takes that card basically right away.
Yeah, it really does.
But we're also in the middle of a million bee swarm.
Oh, shit. Well, at least I'm wearing armor.
I am back to 1 million ants.
1 million ants.
Oh, man, I love that show.
Well, damn.
So, I mean, now I have the advantage. I mean, I'm an electric type Pokemon, and we're both in water.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And I mean, bees, like, okay, cool. I mean, I'll just zap the bees, right? Like, I just use, like Pikachu, use Thunder Slam.
Is that the way it works?
Yeah, and then, I mean, I guess, like, someone would have to be telling it. I don't know. Do Pokemon do things when they're not told to do things?
I mean, how do they live
do
otherwise?
Do they just stand in idle until someone is around to do things with it?
I mean, if the video game is any indicator.
Yeah, I know, right? They just stand around in tall grass waiting for someone to come around and then just fucking
that was
fuck with
always
them, I
my
guess.
impression of it.
But I'm gonna say this Pikachu can actually think for itself. It's the Pikachu from the show because I mean, actually, Pikachu does do stuff when Ash isn't around. Remember they had that whole party in that one episode, and like Charmander was there.
I really don't remember.
I mean, I just
remember the episode where like Charmander like almost died because he was in the rain. I think it was like when they met Charmander.
Yeah, that was when he first met Charmander, and like he
Yeah.
was using like a leaf to like cover his fire
What
and
an
stuff like
idiot.
that. Oh man, it's so cute. But yeah, I think I got you here. I'm just gonna electrocute the water, and Darth Vader's,
I mean, you could electrocute.
ultimate power.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't Darth Vader kind of like to an? No, he's not electricity proof.
No, he's like half robot, isn't he? Wouldn't he be like
Yeah,
extra like?
And
yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, I think you actually got this one.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Shit.
It was honestly because of the multiplier and the location that really helped me. The location pretty much fixed everything that I had.
I mean, that's nice of you to say. But
yeah.
yeah, you kind of got me over a barrel on this one for sure.
Well, oh man, I'm just choking my own spit now. If you guys are listening out there, let us know what you thought. Who do you think won this round? Was it Pikachu that can take the form of anything that it touches? So it's really like a Ditto.
Yeah.
But can only move when the opponent moves. But, I mean, we are on an infinite water slide, but we're also in the middle of a million bee swarm. You know what? Really, when you think about it, Darth Vader has the advantage with the million bee swarm. He's in, like, armor all over.
Yeah,
He's covered.
for the bees at least, yeah.
But, and your character was, again...
Darth Vader armed with bow and unlimited arrows, riding a dragon.
So is the dragon going down the slide, too? Like
I would assume as much, yeah.
That would be hilarious. The slide must be huge, too.
It must be, yeah, just unending.
So, yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought. Again, those comments or those questions that we had for you. Do you want to see swag? What kind of swag would you like to see?
Yeah, this shit isn't free. Give us some input.
Yeah, right? Like, let us know, right?
I mean, for all the free content we've provided you, this is the least you could do.
Exactly. Please just do us this one solid. Do us a personal favor. And just answer the question. Who do you think won in the super fight? Yeah. Tito, do you want to plug any of the Nerdvana social medias right now?
Yeah, I think like if you look for Nerdvana the series on Facebook, Nerd V series on Twitter and on Instagram, and our website nerdvanaseries.com, everything's going to be updated through there. Look for more stuff. We might be doing some new stuff with YouTube just so that it's become like YMN Podcast has become like a big hodgepodge of video.
Yeah.
So we're considering like maybe starting a new channel. Actually, give us input. Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? And go from there. But yeah, start seeing a lot of stuff and start seeing more faces from around town because we are going to be casting. So if you're an actor, an aspiring actor, and we're actually looking for all ages now, we'll be putting a call pretty soon. So keep it lit, and we can pay you. We can pay you to act.
We have monies now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like, hey, it's not for
exposure. Yeah.
Even though you may die of exposure because there are exteriors and it will be cold.
Yeah, it will be
but
very cold.
you will have warm money in your hands.
Yeah, that'll warm your pockets anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know. I mean, you can follow me as well, Matt Salem on Facebook or bonustimepodcast.com. You can also check us out on Instagram. I'm Salem the Matt. As well as I have a whole bunch of other things that I do on there. I mean, there's my Gamazaki page, and there's that new podcast I'm doing called Super GammaCast. But I mean, I'm done jerking myself off for the day, and
sure?
as well as you. So
Also keto.
Yeah, also keto is the greatest. Look into it. It's great. It's cheese and meat, and you can eat whatever you want. Tito, thanks so much for coming on the show again, and
Thanks for being in Nerdvana, man.
Yeah, we'll do another one of these maybe closer to the end of production, and
that'll be crying on it. Like,
yeah,
it all fell apart.
Oh god,
Nothing went right.
Oh god, 2 of our cast members are dead.
All the money was gone so fast.
But yeah, for all of you guys out there, thanks for spending your time on bonus time.